Brilliant. Welcome, everybody, and let's get going. This is being recorded, and so this is last week's stock of the week. It's direct line in the UK on the LSE, and so if we look at last week's, we were down here at 175, and we're currently just above 185. So not a huge leap, but it's building. It's looking good. Obviously, we've got a lot of got resistance quite close by, 195. But if we can stay above this trend line, above the 50-day average, then that is looking good. And let's just go through a few other. Well, let's look at the indices first. So if we look at the Nasdaq. So this time last week, we were just nudging up against this 20,000. Well, we poked through it and now we're sitting back. So this week we've got non-farm payroll. What else we got? Let me just go through my little list. Euro inflation on Thursday. That's pretty much it, really. So the focus really is on US jobs. We start getting US job numbers midweek. And let's see if that follows through. So I would have thought we'll dip here. Excuse me. If we dip back to last week's 19,750 and hold, I think that's viable to see if we can get back to the highs. If this turns out to be a lower high and we close underneath this 20,000, any one day this week, doesn't have to be any particular day. Significant close under here, and then this is going to drift back because this area here is so important. But we are sitting up here, we are holding. We've held this since we popped up here on Wednesday last week. So for now, I would assume that that's going to hold until it tells us something else. FTSE was weak today. Yeah, see, FTSE's gone under the 50-day average. That's engulfed a lot of price that's engulfed last week's action. So 82.80 is shortable here. We've had a lower high, significant close lower. That is shortable. I would suggest you try and look at 82.70 short with a stop above this 83.80 40. Okay. If Let's look at the dollar. Yes, the dollar as we prepare and getting towards non-farm payroll, this is at the moment picking up. So we've had a low high here in July, another lower beginning in July, another lower high end of July, and here we are sitting just on December back end of last year's support. So pick up from here, and that does not bode well. Get a significant rise in the dollar, then I think the excuse me, markets could fall off. Apologize for that. Lack of oxygen. Right, let's go into the commodities and start with oil. Yeah, so I've got this line down here, 66.80. That's the breakup area from the 11th September. So we came down here and held it back in the last week. Pretty flat today. I got a small couple hundred pips out of that if you're a day trader. I bought the lows. I'm long this. if we can pop through 70, then we can see the move into 73, 75. 70 is an obvious target for an intra-week trade. Gold. I also suggested the dip in gold. That is, let's just pull back into this big bar on the 24th. So boomerang back to the 24th. If we can start to close, I saw that silver. Crazy. Yeah, so there's another lower close here. I suggested that 2030 was buyable, $10 up from that. As long as we don't break that low and certainly close underneath that low, I think this is still viable, and I think we're going to break through 2700. That's my, I would look for, um, yeah, look, I mean, 27.5 is the next, 2750 is the next stop, if that can break through 2700. Sugar, I'm out of sugar. There's a took a move, started buying the lows, took a move um, into that resistance, took it off of that resistance. I'm happy just to stand aside for that for now. Wheat. Wheat is really perking up. This $6 is absolutely crucial. Close above $6. We've been trying since Friday the 13th to break that. Then I think we'll see 625 quite soon, and we might start to then wind our way up to 7 or 8 plus. If the dollar gets stronger and this closes under 580, 575, then this may roll over. All right, stocks. Got Prudential, the hot stock from 2 weeks back. That's today tested 710 plus. Any pullback to 650 is viable to see if we can crunch into 8. Started off with that direct line from last week. This week's watch, it's a watch, it's not an entry. Just go and find it. We've talked about this one a lot over recent years, IQE. Just keep an eye on this. We're under a key number 18 here. If we turn around anytime soon and close above that 18, I'm going to take a position in this one, but it's just a watch list for now. Yeah, so I want it to get back above that 18. If that does get back above the 18, this dip will prove to be a pullback, and that will be extremely bullish if we can get back there. And then I would look for these numbers again, 25, 30 plus. Okay, so IQE is my stock of the week, but it's a watch and not an entry. This one here, I took my eye off the ball on this one because it came back to October 23 lows and it's on the run again. I would tell you what, if we see 480 on this one, we've just recently tested 530. If we see 480, then I would venture into that one. Money Supermarket, I haven't seen this one for a long time. No, don't like it. So keep a very close eye on IQE. A quick look at some bellwethers, and then I'll cut this, no, keep this nice and short, and go back. Let's have a look at the, let me pull up the financials. Right, so here, so we've looked at Pro. This is direct line again, which is looking good. Barclays. Pulling back to that 50-day average. all the time we're here, we could um, break the highs and pop up to 250 plus. So let me tidy this up. I've got an awful lot of rubbish on here. So I'm seeing this as a bullish consolidation. As long as we don't, so that 222 was the high of 3rd of June. I think this 225 is viable, the stop underneath 218, and then see if we can pop up. Because if we pop up, I think we're going to go to 250 plus, close underneath 218, and that could be over. Anyway, so anything else? What else are we looking at? Healthcare seems to be very popular at the moment. Let's have a look at GSK. Yeah, this is another key watch. So we were 1678. You can see how important that area is. There's a lot of support around that 15 area. So that's another key watch. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to keep this short. BP and Shell, right, good idea. Let me go and look at that. Yeah, shout out what you want me to look at. I've not done Shell and BP, so let's do some oil stocks. Ooh, right. This is a very, very important area, isn't it? So, series of lower highs, ran out of momentum, broke support, came out of that structure in August. And now we are trying to build here. Decent volume. So already on this key support area, we are seeing an uptick in volume already. The safer way to play it is to see if we can close above 2460 on this shell. If you want to get in now, then I would get out if we break that 2380. But I think it's worth being patient and see if we can get a close above that 2460 before getting into that. Let's look at BP. Very, very similar pattern. Very similar indeed. So huge series of lower highs ever since April. You know what? We might see 375 on this one. Every little push higher in this one since that drop in April has been sold into. But these volumes are significant, so it is potentially worth getting into that. I was going to talk about if I prefer one. Not really. I have to do a little bit more homework on them both. So I've covered the hot stocks from the last 2 weeks, Pru and Direct Line. I'm suggesting you keep an eye on IQE for any uptick, close above 18 on IQE, and that's my stock for this week. Anything else you want me to look at? I covered commodities. Um, I I think there is that facility in this chart package, but I'm not used to doing that, so I can't add. I'll just quickly talk about oil again. Let's have a look. CPI. Okay. Oh yeah, of course, CPI. Um, yeah, so oil is building. We're seeing some higher volume here. So we basically pulled back to the September 11th breakup area. So increase. So I mean, if oil is going to hold up here and go and find 70, 75, then obviously that's good for these oil stocks. So right, let's look at what's OSB. And I'll go and find Capita. OSB, One Savings Bank. Okay. Does appear to be good volume down here. This 380 is holding. This is a nasty drop on the 15th, but the volumes have been increasing since this is not a very good stock in that we had a big drop on the 14th of March, a big drop on the 15th of August. So every time this thing moves up, it sells, pushes up, breaks down, lower highs, breaks down. So, I mean, we on the on the flip side, we have seen this build and break, and this is an obvious area for this to build and break as well. Um, I'm assuming you're either in it or you're tracking it very closely. I mean, these, if you buy, I mean, way of risk managing it is to buy 384, 380 and get your stop underneath 368 and see if they can pop up. If we can start closing above 411, 410 plus, then I think we can go some. But all the time we're in the shadow of this bar, it could easily fall out and do another shot down and come and find close to the £3. So that is not a great stock, but you know if it can close higher another couple of day or two, then hey, it's got a chance. Let's look at Capita. Um, yeah, so the 20 is a massive problem for it. It's a huge area. So we've seen it. So we broke up in July, failed at 20 and closed back down again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my preference for trading something like this, particularly in the volatility we've got at the moment, is just to just take everything off at resistance instead of looking for a runner. What I'm saying is I'm not looking for runners here at the moment. I'm just so nervous about this market. Yeah, if you're buying these lows and you're seeing, decent moves, these are, significant moves. Why sit there looking for a runner when you've got reasonable profits on your books? Because this could so easily come all the way back down to 10, 12, or at least another trip down to 15. So if you got 20, if you bought at 15, it's gone to 20. Um, with this kind of market we've got at the moment, I think it's worth just grabbing it. Otherwise, you could potentially end up giving an awful lot of profits back if you're not careful. This is my current strategy anyway. If we were in a different environment, then I would sit on these and forget about them and hold them. But I'm just exploiting these ranges at the moment. I'm not sitting here looking for runners, which is why, classic example, I've just come out of sugar because it's a massive congested area. Um, Anything else you want to look at? Burberry, right? Yeah, a lot of chatter on Burberry, and I'll look at that micro strategy. Let's look at Burberry first. Right, so that is trying very hard to pull back to get going. I don't like the sector. This is why I struggle with it. I do not like the sector because of where I think we are in the cycle. Um, let's look at the weekly. Okay, so we had 2 weeks of higher closes, completely snuffed out the first week in September. All right, well, based on that weekly chart alone, I can see why you might want to look at that. If you're in it, sit tight and get your stop under that 545. If you're not in it, I would look at 640, 650. But again, I wouldn't give it much wiggle room. I would be happily jump ship if we broke that low. And I think a trip to 10 looks viable. Right, let's look at micro. But I'm just very cagey on. I just don't like that sector. Hmm. A good 3 weeks. I'll put the daily on. Let's put the daily on now. Most recent high, most recent low. That was a lovely reversal signal, lovely buy signal on the 9th. Um, we're already hitting a pretty congested area, or getting close to a congested area. Um, no, come on, stop it. I That's a nice journey from 11.4, 114 up to that 180. I think I I think it's a buy at sort of 150, 154. Um, if you're in it and you got profit, great. Just manage it. If you're not in it, I'd be patient and wait for the August highs around about that 150, 153. Right, I was looking at AMD earlier actually, early today, not in this session. Yeah, it's good. It's already left the station, so it's all, as I say so often, it's much, much harder. It's hitting this resistance area that we're hitting that trend line. We've got another sort of channel. So a channel low will be sort of 145. Um, so this 160 was a decent support today. But that is tough. It's tough because it's just hit the high of that underside of that channel. And I mean, for me to get in that, I'd want to see that dip back to 154. And the reason why I want to see it dip back is because I want to get a good price so I can get a try and give it more wiggle room. But it's just hit a lot of resistance. And it is, I could just get the pen, it is making a series of lower highs. So if we do dip and break this area here, it could easily come back down to 24 lows and maybe even 23 December support. So that's why I think you've got to be careful with a stock. You don't chase a stock that's doing this. Wait and see if it pulls back into a safer area to give you a chance to buy. That's my style of trading. Um, it's the easiest thing in the world to chase something, to jump into a stock too high and then sweat it out. All right. I'll let you have the recording. Um, have a good evening, and I'll give you more warning about I'll send the links out a lot quicker next time. All right. Thanks very much, guys. My voice is giving way now anyway, so have a good evening and talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.